Hey, I say you're handsome.
Uh, ever worked on an AC for shuttle buses or school buses? I have not. Man, to be honest, I don't like automotive, but I know some of them are a little different. Uh, Talking to people comes with experience and confidence. I mean, do I come off like in a negative way in my videos? I know some of my videos are from my older channel that are getting reposted. So like I'm some of them are a little bit older. Especially if you can tell my hair, the way my hair is right now. If it's different in that video, it's an older video. Where do you live at, and what's your base pay for your HVAC installers? Do you do? Thank you, user. I live in South Mississippi, and $15-20 an hour, man. I live in the poorest state in the union, so I don't know how that rates where y'all are at, but you gotta understand, poorest state in the union. Uh, how is your experience on new construction builders? Um, I'm kind of torn, man. So, it's my job as an HVAC expert to educate builders, right? Because it's their job to build and it's their job to coordinate. But I really, really love new construction. I just don't like to do the tract homes. I don't like to do. I like to do my bread and butter probably is 1 to 2 system homes. Somewhere between maybe 3,000, 5,000 square feet. That's where I just love to be at. But I'll do bigger. I mean, we've done 64,000 square foot buildings, and um, I don't really care, man. Install or service, it don't matter. I don't care. Like, I know a lot of companies, they'll put one person on one or the other. I like to be able to cross train everybody. As a company owner, for me, it's only better for me to cross train you, because if someone misses work, I don't want to reschedule everything I have that day. I want to be able to say, oh, okay, well, JLN 1986, he can do it. So, how often do you clean your ducts? Kid Fox. Um, from a new construction point of view, let me say this. You should never have to clean your ducts. You should never have to, because you should have proper filtration. The issue is when a new construction is done, typically it isn't done correctly, and then you end up having dirty duct issues later on. But if you run in the proper filtration, nothing should ever get through the unit into the ducts. Gray or white duct seal, man, I like that white duct seal. I like it more. I was making $950 commission for a full install. It's not bad. It's probably going right, I guess. Hey, what's up out there on YouTube land? Deserved fat finger statement. I was dying when I looked at it. We are starting installers at 28 an hour now. Bailey, where y'all located at? Duct cleaning is a scam in my opinion. I'm not saying there's not a purpose for it, but I'm just, to me, it's an installation issue. It was a design issue. You're I mean, go ahead and clean your ducts and make sure they're right, I guess. You're not really solving the issue. Smart Air. What I would suggest for new construction stuff is build the value. Show them the value. Show them that you have the education. Show them that you have the skill set that would be worth that amount of money. You got to understand that people don't get excited about HVAC like I do. You know what I mean? So I got to convey that excitement to them. What about my design gets me excited that is going to be exciting for them. Man, you won't have to worry about the dust. You won't have to worry about getting sick as much. You won't have to worry about the dirty ducts. You won't have to worry about the drain getting clogged all the time, because you're gonna have the proper filtration, and you're gonna be able to tell. You are going to be able to tell by my excitement and all the work that I went through of designing your system and just making sure, like, man, I don't do it like everybody else, because I don't want to be like everybody else. I put a lot of thought in. I put a lot of thought into mine. Thank you. I just like when people sell duct cleaning on system. So, Do you use a galley gun? Galley guns are. Duct cleaners are more for older homes with older ductwork. What's your opinion on mini splits in tight, small houses? Mini splits are, but I think they're really niche specific. What's up, people out there on YouTube land? Man, hey, look, let me tell y'all something. Y'all see this right here? Y'all probably can't see it, man. But I did some work for a farmer today, and man, I got some fresh meat right here. Mmm. Man, that's good. That's smoky bacon. Man, I did work for a farmer today. He had it looked like maybe like a 4 foot by 5 foot little shed looking thing. He's like, oh, well, that's my smokehouse, and he has a little pit that's built into the ground that smoke goes up into this little house. Man, this stuff tastes so good, man. Darn. I wanted to try it out because, you know, when you go to get food from the grocery store, you don't never know what's in it. You know what I mean? I knew from this farmer, I knew what he put in his. How much does it roughly cost for a full install? User 6766524862823. What size? Gas, electric, whatever. What's up, Finn? What's your question? That's right. Hey, man, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, this bacon is off the chain. Look, for the people that may be vegan on here, let me just tell y'all right here, man. I grow my own lettuce. I grow my own lettuce in my own kitchen. I got basil right here beside me. That's what all this light is, man. I grow my own food right here. I pick it right off the plant and eat it. Now, say I don't.
Oh my god.
User 252976. I like to do commercial style work in residential homes. That's what I like. That's what I like to do. That's an odd one, Ruby. It sounds like you live up north and you have a boiler. In YouTube land, do y'all have any questions over there? I'm streaming on multiple platforms, guys, so. Thoughts on the new refrigerant? It's probably, everyone says it's not that bad, man. That's what they're just saying. Their new refrigerant ain't that bad. It ain't gonna be a big deal. And you know, I'll tell you what my thoughts are on refrigerant right now. My thoughts on refrigerant is y'all better stock up on 410A, because if you want to make a ton of money, just know that the demand is going to be high for 410A this summer. And when it is, they've cut production. So the demand, you know, the price of 410A is going to skyrocket. That's just, you just accept it for what it is. As a company owner, for me, I look at it like, you know, even if it's retail, it's worth about $1 right now. The worst and best parts of my job, you know, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I've changed the way I really look at the world here lately. I don't really have a worst or best part. It's pretty good for me regardless, because the way I look at things. If things look bad to you, you have a negative perspective, and you should look at things like there's something positive that can come from anything. Even at the worst case scenario, the worst case, something that you may not prefer to go to may provide you some clarity on what you need to be doing, so you don't have to go through that again. It took yeah, but even if it took you 10 years to go from $80 to $800, that's still a 10x income. That would be you couldn't do it in stocks. You know, you couldn't do it with stocks. How do I turn on my heater? Oh, thermostat. New refrigerant is going to cost more per equipment because of the hazards and flammability. I probably agree with you. I haven't heard of any drop-ins for 410A. Uh, I don't even know why they would. I mean, they're gonna make a boatload. It seemed like they lobbied for the change so they could make this new equipment, and they could make even more money off of the refrigerant. So why not? What's the purpose? Javier, man, man, I appreciate that, Javier. It means a lot to me, man. After being in HVAC for 17 years, running a business for 8 years, I still enjoy doing what I do. I enjoy helping people. If you got questions, always around to help. I just want to be positive and helpful for everybody. What have y'all been working on in class? Man, this is good, man. Eat from a local farmer. That's all I can tell y'all. Y'all should at least try it. Go down there, have you you know you go buy your vegetables or your meat or whatever. Go down there to a local farmer for real. Try it out one time.
Yeah, that bacon's good.
I'm telling y'all, this is off the chain. You got that garlic bread. Two-story house, two-zone system, 3 air return vent. Why does all the return vents turn on when the first floor is on? It's probably wired improperly. But thumb. This brings me to another point. From a design standpoint, there's a lot of issues with having zones. In my opinion, if you got a two-story house, have two systems. But if you're going to have like a one-story house and have like a bonus room, for example, what I like to do with the bonus room is if I keep like all our systems are ran in the attic mostly. Um, in the attic, if you run your duct up, like you got a trunk line running horizontal through the attic, and then you're like, oh, well, I got a bonus room upstairs in the attic somewhere above the garage. You can't run that duct up and get the same airflow. You can run it horizontal from the trunk line and get good airflow, but you also you have to account for more cooling than what you typically would in that garage area, and you have to put a return for that bonus room. It might be because to help circulate the air more throughout the house, just pulling it to keep um, more balanced. The deal with zone is locally, but we just typically don't do it. We'll put it in another system. Tyler, hey Eric. Um, Tyler. I suggest that you follow my page, and then when you run into something in specific, then we could address it, and I could help you that way. But I'd also suggest um, take a lot of notes, ask a lot of questions, ask for a lot of analogies that may help you better understand things and different concepts. Be prepared to work. Um, just be positive all the time. Understand the refrigeration cycle, Javier. Get a very, very, very good understanding of the refrigeration cycle. Understand that what can happen and how it affects that cycle. Um, Ian Graham, I do. We do a lot of installs. We do a lot of new construction, maintenance, light commercial, and residential. So does it have a damper for the return to close? Typically not. Hey man, I really appreciate y'all following. I'm trying to be as helpful and positive for everyone here, and I just want to, spread that positivity out there in HVAC world. You know what I mean? I feel like that's something that's really lacking. Having that support in this industry. So from someone that's got 17 years experience, got residential, light commercial experience, worked on a little bit of industrial stuff. Um, you know, a follow means a lot. Have you ever thought about starting your own HVAC company? Corb, I own one. I've been having my own for 8 years now. Comes with time, have someone that knows what they're doing. That's true. I wouldn't think so being residential. Thanks, man. I've been following you for a little. Yeah, man. I always try to help. I appreciate you following. Order of operation. Um, man, this is crazy good. Remember, it's always the TXV. Hey, no doubt, man. Javier, the reason I say that is because, uh, I don't know if I'm lagging or what here. Can y'all still see me? At the very, uh, so the reason that it's so important to understand the refrigeration cycle is because a lot of times when you're working on a unit, you'll be sitting there and you'll think, okay, so I have a high superheat, low subcooling, high subcooling, high super. You'll run these different scenarios in your head, and you're like, oh, I have a high superheat. Oh, so that means that I'm absorbing too much heat in the evaporator. Okay, so I'm absorbing too much heat. That means I don't have enough refrigerant in the evaporator. And you just kind of walk it out step by step in your head that way. So by having a good understanding of that cycle, it'll really, really benefit you. I'm currently in school, and anyone I've spoken to says a lot of the material isn't used in the field. What kind of stuff are y'all learning about PK? Bonus room, formerly garage on concrete. Uh, Crawl space stops in room before. Can't run up into the attic. Use a mini split. Do a mini split there. Do you deal with a lot of mini splits? Been thinking of putting one in my garage. I do, man. A lot of them. A lot of them. You're good. Lagging a bit. Um, yeah, I had something going on. They was asking me if I'm still active or something on TikTok. I like the new food right here. David, if you're new to the field, learn learn the refrigeration cycle. Be coachable. Be coachable, man. Like that's so critical. Like in order to be a good HVAC tech, you got to have good people skills, and you also have to have good technical skills. And a lot of people have one or the other, and you really have to have both. A lot of people can train you on the technical skills, but what'll happen is if you don't have good people skills, people will just avoid you. Most people won't try to teach you on how to have good people skills. So always be coachable. Don't be a hard person to deal with. I mean, I'm not saying be a pushover, stand your ground some, but understand that people skills is just as important as technical skills. Mm, where are you from, DK? Hey, Jason. I think Daikin makes a pretty good mini split for the money. Um, they're really solid. Um, Most people use Daikin where I'm at. Other ones are either problematic or there's another brand. Mitsubishi makes a really good one, but they're a little bit more expensive. Little side note, you got to see how much Mitsubishi, the company, has cash on hand. If you're an investing person, you got to check that out. They have a ton of money on hand. Um, Always after you get done with your work, always go back and look. Like, hey, you're fixing to get in a truck and leave. Go back one more time and look for all your tools. Go back in the attic. Go back in the basement. Go back and look at the outdoor unit. I can assure you, you're going to leave gauges. You're going to leave wire strippers. You're going to leave all that stuff. And people's going to say that they don't, but they do. Trust me, they do. The humming, that is my water pump. That's my hydroponic garden behind me. Um, I don't know how loud it is to y'all. The other noise is a baby. um, the humming that you might hear is I have a garden in my kitchen. Just so y'all can see. I grow my own lettuce and all my vegetables. You know, when you pick it right off the plant, it's the most healthiest time to eat it. And I don't know, man. There's something about just picking it right off the plant and eating it right then that just seems a lot more healthy to me. You know what I mean? As a contractor or as a lead, what do you expect? Um, Two-story, 1,900 square foot house. What size unit do you recommend? In my area, I'd put one upstairs and downstairs. I wouldn't recommend that you try to do that with one system, and I'd probably go roughly 500 square foot per ton. But that's a rough estimate. I don't know any ideas about what kind of, is it sitting on slab? Is it 2x6 exterior walls? What kind of windows you got? What orientation is the house? I don't know if you're using spray foam in your walls. Is it 2x4 walls? I don't know what kind of, there's a lot of stuff to it, but I mean, I'm just trying to be helpful. But I would separate it top and bottom. I'm an HVAC instructor. What do you recommend as a contractor or as a lead? What do you expect? You know what? This is what I do. I don't really. I understand that people learn at different rates, and people learn in different ways. So I teach people with metaphors. I try to give a lot of different. I have a group chat in my company. People can look at it, and just in case I'm looking at it and they may not see it that often, or maybe they do a lot of installs or they're a helper, but they don't do a lot of troubleshooting. Those type of scenarios, it really is beneficial to post videos inside a group chat so that way people can review it, people can comment on it, and they can do it at their leisure. But I also have a training manual where I have pictures and stuff like that. It probably needs a little updating because we used to do a lot of other type of stuff. We've continually updated our processes. It's pretty good. Um, I'm expecting from an apprentice. I expect them to be there. I expect them to get their tools. The number one thing right off the get go is if they get their tools or not. And if a guy ain't willing to go get some tools, to me that's like that just tells me a lot of stuff about you. I expect you to be willing to learn, eager to learn as an apprentice. Um, you'll run into some moisture issues, PK. Man, that bacon is so good. Um, I walk around. The walk around is key. I've had so many tools. Um, what do you look for in a man? Um, Someone that wants to work. Um, that's it because my wife's right here. You know what I mean? Like I'm married. You know what I'm saying? um, Me too. First, you're teaching. Do you recommend to use window units if I'm struggling with money? Sure. Why not? Why would you not? You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't recommend that you. What's up, Nate? I like Nate's little logo. It's easy to remember. What do you recommend to use? There's nothing wrong with window units. You know, one time I actually took a window unit, disassembled it, put it in a water fountain to make it cold. It's pretty sweet, man. It's been a long time ago. It's been about 8 years ago, but that's pretty sweet, man. Uh, Not at the moment, but you know, you never know. Like I was telling people, always check back, man. Where are you located at? What's up? Hey, what's up, Army? Some companies that do residential don't really bring their stuff in at first. What do you mean? On average, how much is it to buy a new unit from a small one story? Lucky Lizard, how big? How many square feet is that? Automotive HVAC or honestly, man, I don't like to do automotive HVAC. It's just too much to deal with. You know, we already do refrigeration. We already do some light commercial, some residential. It's just a lot of stuff to keep up with. You got disconnected last night. I have slugging. What calculation do you use for the piston, not TXV? Hey, Jason. One time I had an issue um, with a unit because of a piston, and what I did, um, what I did is I changed every little size I could get, like going up and down, and recorded all my superheat and subcooling with that piston. And I found what I thought was the best spot for it. But the reason I was having an issue though is because it was a trailer and it was a high static pressure, and I could not get enough airflow with the blower assembly. York makes a 5-ton blower assembly that you could put in mobile homes, but in my opinion, you still cannot get enough airflow. That blower assembly is extra large, takes up more space, and it appears like you can't put enough airflow through that duct system for a 5-ton. Is it good to keep the circulating fan on when running AC? In my opinion, the circulating fan is just about, you know, moving air throughout your home, really. Just getting the air from being stagnant. It's about as expensive as running a ceiling fan. Any tips on management? Hey, Ryan. Sure, man. Like, what's up, Jerry? Um, okay. Um,